Welcome to the Realtor for Hoopers podcast.
When I pull up with my dogs, we gon' ball like Swish. No, I ball like. No, I ball like.
All right, welcome to episode 16 of the Realtor for Hoopers interview series. We are at Tetra Lounge in Denver. Appreciate them opening up the spot to us. Today, I got a man who went to CSU Pueblo.
Yes, sir.
Played in multiple spots in the G League.
Yes, sir.
And multiple spots overseas, pro ball overseas.
Yep.
And founder and part owner in Dro, Jamar Brown.
How you doing?
Doing good, my man.
Good seeing you.
Good seeing you too. We've hooped for a long time together.
Oh my gosh. Forza.
Remember those days?
Oh man, we had some
those.
great runs at Forza.
I can't believe they shut that gym down.
9 to 10 o'clock or so. I don't know, bro. We always was there.
Yeah.
And it was some big names in there too.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like some regular hoopers.
No.
Everybody was hoopers.
Yeah, we had hoopers in the highest level in that gym.
Nay. Shout out to Nay.
Yeah, Ty came a couple times.
We had a lot of hoopers from around the city that was coming in and out from.
I remember when the lockout happened.
Oh yeah,
those runs during the lockout, because all the Nuggets guys were just looking for a run.
It was a great run because they couldn't go to the Pepsi at all.
No,
that's crazy. That's right before I left because what was that? 2011, 12ish,
something like that. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, because then I had to go to Springfield. It was right after a year after my injury, and I went back. I remember Hess called me and was like, "Where you at?" And I'm like, "Bro, I'm already in camp." Yeah.
That's good, man.
Get into it.
Yep. Appreciate it. So the first question we always ask everyone is, tell us your basketball story.
My basketball story kind of crazy because I'm from South Central LA, East Side, 36th Street. And my first moment of basketball is my brother walking into the house. His name Jamar Brown. He was an All-American at New Mexico. Drafted. He's way older, but he was drafted to the Clippers. And he was only like 6'4", 6'5".
Okay.
But when he walked in the house, I don't know because our ceilings was too low or whatnot, but that was like the biggest thing in my life right then. And then
Star walked in.
Yeah, a star walked in because I knew he was my brother.
Yeah.
But he was never around. But at the same time, it was just something bigger than what I had in the neighborhood. So once I figured that out and locked on to that, I used to watch his VHSs and all that and try to it was like a dagger for me. I was trying to get to where he was going. And then between that, where I'm from was heavily gang infested or whatnot. So I always had a basketball. Where I was, we had a nice little backyard, but our first court was a bike rim and some wood.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and then I used to watch NBA Inside Stuff. That's where I used to steal all the moves from Tim Hardaway crossover, from KG, Kobe. I used to steal every move and go outside and go practice and everything and just work on it myself. I didn't have a trainer or nothing. Then I used to buy a lot of basketball cards back in the day off the ice cream truck, which I still have to this day.
That's cool.
From the 90s.
I bet those may be worth something now.
Some of them. Yeah, they getting graded right now. Yeah. So I got the whole dream team. I got Shaqs. I got all the way to right before Kobe was drafted, which I was like, damn.
Yeah.
I'd have had some good Kobe cards. And this was all off the ice cream truck, some way, somehow working to get 50 cents to buy, some basketball cards. But so.
Anyways, get back to it.
Yeah, further along.
Where'd you go to high school?
So so coming into high school in LA, I never played basketball because I was getting bussed out to Westwood. So I couldn't stay after school. My mom, there's no way they was going to come pick me up.
Okay.
That's like an hour and a half away. So there's no way. So I just always stuck to playing on the streets and everything. And then me and my mom, we left LA and we moved to Vegas. And we was living in Vegas. And I was walking in the hallway and my coach seen me and he was like, "You play basketball?" And I was like, "On the streets." And he was like, "Come to practice."
How tall are you now?
I'm 6'9".
No, how tall are you back then? I know you're 6'9"
from high school,
right now.
I was probably 6'7".
Yeah, so
I grew. I actually grew an extra 2 inches out of high school.
Okay, but when you're walking down that hallway, that coach sees a 6'7" dude.
Coach Asneris was like, and me, I was kind of depressed from leaving LA. I didn't want to talk to nobody, so I'm just some reason I should just walk aside the walls and everything.
Yeah.
And then that one time I went to practice actually changed my life. And that's the year, senior year, played that year, and we won state. So I was real raw though. I had the talent, but I had the skill set, but I never played AAU one time in my life. I never been on the clubs or nothing. So it's just like a kid.
You were learning how to play organized basketball.
Organized basketball, yeah. So once I started putting the X's and O's together, it started making sense. I had some college coaches who were really, really, really looking at me, but I still didn't get the game, and I didn't get even back then, how to be professional because I was never mentored to line yourself up and do this and do that. Had a little attitude all the time. You always get second and third chances, and being 6'9" is perfect for chances. But, so that's my high school story. And then from high school to college, I went to my first college. I went to Casper College.
Okay.
So in the Region 9.
Where's that?
In Wyoming.
Okay.
So that was like a culture shock. Jackalopes and Cowboys.
Going from Vegas to Wyoming?
Yeah. So I went from LA to Vegas to Wyoming within 2 years. So, and I'm born and raised in LA. But from there, two of my high school teammates, Alex Hernandez, who actually went to Gonzaga. So he played with Dan Dickow, Casey Calvary. Okay. And my other teammate, John Early, went to Alaska Fairbanks. They came with me. And then it's just recurring, very good. I had these colleges recruiting me, even CU. Coach Patton was there, and he was basically I was getting in trouble. He called my brother, what's wrong with your brother? He's like, man, he's from the hood and this and that.
Yeah.
So
you don't know no better.
Then I just got kicked out of school. Coach was like, I love you. I love your game, but I can't deal with you. Went to Texas, got kicked out of school in the middle of the season. And so.
This is your sophomore year in Texas?
Yeah. Okay. So it's just yo, what do I do next? So my brother and them was down in Modesto. I actually went to school there without going to school for a whole semester. And then CSU Pueblo was recruiting me. And basically I had to go to UNLV, go to summer school. And I went to CSU Pueblo and then played with Jermaine Mason.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I played with Jermaine Mason, who's from Denver. Very good, very good guard. If you're not paying attention, the ball will hit you in your face. So you got to be on point. So I went there, actually did very well, made all RMAC, all region or whatever and whatnot. And from there, I set out for a year and then just happened to be in church. And one of my mentors from Oklahoma, Brian Vane, it's you play basketball. So now it's all recurring again, the same thing. And I was like, had me working out here. I was working, go work out. And then it was a Korean camp up at Hiawatha with Jay Humphreys. And he seen me play, and then he brought me to Chicago to the actual camp, and that's how I got on overseas.
Okay.
Yeah, so I went there, and my first actual job was in Mexico.
Okay.
Then from Mexico, I went to Argentina to Spain, Turkey, won a championship in Turkey. I played in for Antalya Boucher.
Okay.
So now my career is going and picking up speed. Now I'm starting to mentally, I'm there. Mentally, I'm locking in. Still a little immature.
But you're trying to be a pro. You're closer to being
I'm a pro, but
I know what I'm saying. Mentally, you're
mentally, I'm trying to figure it out because now it's money coming in and to manage this and that. And then I played in Japan. Then I went to the G League, the Colorado 14ers. And so, every summer we'll work out up at the Pepsi and everything. Yeah. That's where my coaches found me with working out. So from there, I went to the G League. And that was a shock because playing overseas, you got that starting job. You got to work for it. You worked for it. You know you're going to play. There's no other Americans around. But going to the G League, it was a culture shock because now I'm a kid coming from a D2.
Yeah.
And now you got dudes from Kentucky, Duke, Wake Forest, Louisville. You got NBA players. And when we was in the G League then, it was only 10 players.
Yeah.
So to even be on that team, both teams was good. And then it was a learning lesson, minutes, timing, and everything. Played with Eddie Gill, Sonny Weems, John Lucas, Dominique Coleman, who went to CU, Joe Dalbert, Josh Davis, who went to Wyoming.
Yep.
We was all on the same team, Damian Lawler. So we had a good team, and we actually won a championship.
Yep.
And then that summer, after we won a championship, I ruptured my patella tendon. Yeah, so that was my first ever injury. And I didn't know I was depressed then because you just fighting it. And like, I remember when it happened and the doctor was like, oh, you're going to be back in 6 months. I walk into the Pepsi Center and I actually didn't have no insurance. My insurance just went out. So I go in and Hess go, what the fuck happened to you? And I was like, I ruptured my patella. And then he was like, you got insurance? And I was just absolutely, I didn't have it. He said, be at the Pepsi Center 7 a.m. every morning. And he the one who brought me back. Like, I owe that dude my life. And then I played 4 years after that. I wasn't the same, but it was good for me.
That was like at Springfield? And
I actually went to Springfield and D. Brown from the Celtics. That was my coach.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was, D. Brown. Reebok, pump it up, pump it up. So he gave me a year to recover.
Okay.
And then the second year, I started playing good, but I just wasn't the same. But it was enough for me to prove to myself and to nobody else that I came back and did it my way. And, it's the love of the game. If you love the game, it'll love you back.
Cool, man. Well, sweet, man. I appreciate you going through that story.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So during that part of the story, all the ups and downs of it all and all that, was there a point where you kind of had to check yourself, where you kind of like, no, I got to be humble here for me to be able to get to where I want to go? Because like, just because I think I'm that good or whatever, sometimes you got to humble yourself and get somewhere before you can go on to the next spot. Yeah,
I was in Mexico. And this was my second year in Mexico, and I played with Eric Martin from Oklahoma, Boubacar Al, who went to Georgetown with Allen Iverson.
Okay.
And me and Booba, we just bumped heads. I just didn't get it. I was immature. And I really wasn't being a pro, but I was playing very good. But then the attitude, then, just being immature, selfish as a player. And one day they had another American come in, and I'm like, who is he here for? And then Eric put me aside, was like, Coach put him in here for you because they can't handle you. You wild.
He's for your spot.
Yeah, so I'm talking to the other American, and I'm like, where you from? He told me wherever he's from, and he was like, I'm not trying to go back to the Baby Gap. I was like, you working at the Baby Gap? He was like, yeah, dude like 6'9". And that really checked me there. And I'm just like, yo, I am bugging. And unfortunately, he wasn't not good.
He wasn't that good.
So I was in my room, I'm packing. I hear a knock on the door because we were supposed to go to the road. We were supposed to go on a road trip or whatnot. And Coach was like, yo, we need you. And Eric and Booba set me down. It was like, yo, if you want to have a long-lasting career, you're going to have to go this path. You have to check yourself. You're a little emotional. If you're going to be emotional, put it into the game. But don't be spazzing out. And they guided me and gathered me. And they really started paving me to be a pro.
That's awesome.
So with that, I always think back about that because I always wonder where's that dude at. But at the same time, I always wonder if he was a tad bit good enough just to go do what he did better, where would I be?
Yeah.
And once you get cut, man, then it start traveling, then overseas. Once it's about your attitude, it don't matter how good you are, no team don't want you.
Yeah.
And, some players play, they see dudes in the stands. Like, what is American doing in the stand? In the stands or whatnot. Or, like, one time in Argentina, but lucky for me, there's a kid that came in, and I'm just like, not this again. They was like, nah, that was a kid who was born in Argentina, so he Argentina. And I'm like, oh, okay. Had to check myself. But that was real humbling for me, other than getting hurt, because that just made me realize, like, nothing's promised in life.
No.
Sure. And my mom always told me, like, nothing is promised. And I thought, like, never get hurt, never this and that. But once something like that happened, you really make you take a back seat and realize, like, what are you doing in life?
For sure.
So I was really lucky. And then after that, I just got my shit together, to be honest.
Man, and what I appreciate about that is that, like, having those two, like, two mentors and those two guys
Yeah.
the players came to you and helped you realize what you were throwing away.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because some people don't get that. And some people just remain immature and then they fly out and then you realize, like, whatever happened to that dude? He was really nice.
Yeah.
Well, he was
because
out a fool.
You're right, because my path was from Mexico. I played in Argentina for tennis. My coach was Julio Lamas. He was the coach that when they beat the U.S.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I went from Mexico, Argentina to Spain. And that's the path you want to go.
Yep.
So man, if I'd have got cut, I don't know where I was at. I probably would have been back at Costco, Best Buy.
You working at Baby Gap.
Yeah, I'd have been.
You taking that guy's spot at Baby Gap.
Man, I'd have been owning Baby Gap by then. Real talk.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess let's go to Dro. So tell us a story. What's the story of Dro, like from the beginning?
Dro from the beginning, honestly, is how I grew up.
Okay.
And I didn't really realize it, but it was like, I'm from California. Mom, dad, you know, they dangled in some things.
Okay.
Mom was heavy in her weed industry, trimmers, testers, runners, and Dro. So it's hydro, so it's abbreviated. So we cut it to Dro. So that starting, it was already in me.
Okay.
And then when I was transitioning from basketball, it took me like 4 years. I just didn't know what the hell to do, but I always had that hustle in me, no matter what. And so a couple of my business partners, we all came out of Muscle Farm, and we all had the same. We all had the same path, but different paths. But our paths was Dro. Like, we all had stories from smoking weed, from the culture of weed, from the apparel side. And once we figured that out, and we just formed Dro, then we just start pushing it. And we just start pushing it with hats. And hats start turning into festivals. And festivals start turning in stores. Yep. And this is on the apparel side. And then next thing you know, we'll drive 17 hours to like a Chalice Fest or whatnot, sit in 115 degree weather for 3 days straight, selling clothes while everybody's selling weed. Yeah. And then we pushed it to the point we ended up in Zoomies, 1,000 stores nationwide. As of right now, we're in Tilly's and PacSun nationwide.
That's awesome, man.
Then on the marijuana side, it just made sense to license.
Yep.
So once we start licensing and start finding the right partners, building the brand of Dro for the marijuana side, everything just started making sense. It started coming into a full circle of my life.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, and that's the crazy part, because, bro, we started from the ground up. And we still working. And, you know,
the hustle's still there.
Yeah, the hustle's there. And I look at it as, for me, life's a speed bump. Yep. I used to go 90 miles an hour and I'd crash everywhere. Now I just take my time and pick where I want to go. Preach, man. That's part of growing up, though.
Yeah,
you know.
So what's the next goal for Dro? What are you working on? What
are we working on right now? As for the apparel side, we just launched a month ago at Tilly's and PacSun. Okay. So we just keep pushing on that, pushing more stores. But that's pretty big for us to go in with a collab with Riot Society. It's pretty big. I'm always working, so I don't really look at it from the outside in. But that's real, man. And then on the marijuana side for us, we built a brand in Denver. We're in a lot of stores out here, but our next move, we're moving to Florida. So we got a license deal in Florida. Okay. So for us to my ultimate goal is to license in each state. And as soon as we go federally legal, you know, manufacture out here and produce to the world, because as smokers, you know, they're going to want some weed from California. They're going to want some weed from Denver or Colorado. And then they probably want some weed from Hawaii or somewhere. And then you got like some dude in Montana in the basement with some fire. You know, but that's the ultimate goal, and just keep licensing and just keep pushing the culture and pushing the brand, you know, and just transition into the world.
2 follow-up questions. So you're licensed in Cali?
No. I'm licensed in Colorado. Yep. We were licensed in Oklahoma, a little too saturated, so we got out of there. And now our big jump is Florida. That's a real big jump.
And then So then I know it's on IG. You started DroFlower. So what's
it's DroLife is for the apparel side and the lifestyle. IG is and then it's DroFlower.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's DroFlower.
Yeah. So DroFlower is the weed side.
Yeah. DroFlower is the weed side, and then DroLife is the apparel side. Cool. So it's two different companies.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope.
All right, so now we're going to get into some basketball questions.
Let's go.
So we're looking forward to these. So I got two for you. We're going to start with anybody in the league right now that's 25 and under. If you had to pick one to start your franchise with, who are you picking?
That's tough.
There's a lot of names out there.
Now I got to be a GM.
Yes, now you got to be a GM.
My favorite player under 25 is LaMelo Ball.
Damn. Okay,
that's my favorite. He's 6'7". He's smart, but he's too injury prone. Yep. I'm like, Melo, you got Rookie of the Year, All-Star, and then just too injury prone. But that's my favorite player under 25. But I'll start with Wemby.
Wemby?
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with him.
Can't go wrong. He's a two-way player.
Yep.
He's getting better on the offensive side, and this is his first year. And then
you look real for his first year.
For his first year, just imagine year 5.
Yeah.
You telling me you got somebody 7'3"?
Yeah.
You put a team around him, some solid players, get one more that just right now, Chris Paul's gonna be great for him.
Oh yeah, I was just about to say that. I was like, he's gonna teach him how to.
San Antonio's gonna be back probably the next couple years, winning 3 straight championships.
Man, that's awesome.
That's a rim protector, bro. Are you telling me?
And if he can get more, even if he can get more consistent with his shot too, where he's unguardable.
Bro, this is first year. He has nothing to do but play basketball, focus on basketball, get in the gym. The money's gonna be there. Everything else, because basketball is a bubble within a bubble.
Yeah.
Don't start. Now he don't need to start a podcast or nothing right now.
No.
I know he's Wemby.
Focus on hoop.
Focus on hoop. Yeah. Probably your 4th year. Now you want to talk and that'll be good, but I'll build around him. There's other players, but he's the one.
So you can't go wrong with Wemby. The one aspect I think about if I'm a franchise owner, having someone who's marketable, and Wemby's marketable, and I'm not saying he's not, but the language barrier maybe something there. Ann Edwards, to me,
he's marketable.
How he handles himself at a press conference, the dude's a dog. He competes on both ends and all that. I flip back and forth between Wemby and Ant,
I could go.
But Ant, I'm just I just like that dude.
Yeah, I could go with Ant too, bro. Ant is just a fun player to watch. He's humble. He speaks his mind, but he speaks his mind in the right way.
And he'll dunk on someone quick.
Bro, KD was just showing them in the Olympics how to shoot. The next thing you know, you see a picture of him dunking on KD. KD.
Yeah.
Yes, but then look at Yao Ming.
Oh yeah,
he was marketable.
Yeah. But internationally, but I'm just saying.
But at the same time, I see where you're coming from.
I'm just saying, it just depends on what you. It just depends if you want a guard or a big man, really.
Yeah.
But all right, next question is Olympics are coming up, so we're filming this on July 26th, night of the open ceremonies. Who is your starting 5 for the Olympic roster?
Starting 5?
Yeah, men's 2024 Olympic roster starting 5. A lot of big names.
I'm going with Steph at the 1.
Okay.
Man, I'm going at the 2, bro.
Okay.
I get it. Him coming off the bench, but he's just been automatic through the prelims or whatever. Yeah, that's a good question. I'm gonna have to go LeBron at the 3.
Okay. We can play positionless basketball. We don't have to have 1, 2, 3, 5.
LeBron at the then I'm going KD, Anthony Davis.
Okay.
I mean, Embiid would be situational because the days they not playing Jokic in a quicker team. Yeah. The lineup can switch up all the time.
Oh yeah. But that's just the starting 5.
That's my
you
lineup.
Don't know who you're playing, just the starting 5.
Steph, Ant, LeBron, KD, and AD.
Okay. So we differ on one guy, and it really is starting Embiid. Because I think they had to convince Embiid to play. I think they're just going to automatically start him, and then he's going to be the depending on how the game goes, because he's so injury prone, it's like.
Bro, you see a couple of them games. He was on the ground too.
Yeah.
And them kids from Sudan, man.
Yeah.
It was on his helmet.
So if he's got it going, they'll let him stay in the game. But if it's like, oh, we're playing some small team, okay, and B go sit on the bench. And Anthony Davis.
Yeah, go chill. Like, you gotta get ready for Philly, man.
Yeah.
Go have a long season.
I'm sure the owners and GM at the 76ers are contacting the USA Basketball, being like, you better not hurt my guy.
I mean, hey,
I can't say he can't play, but you better not hurt my guy.
I tell you what, Embiid out there like, I'm American now. Halliburton was like, give us that passport back. Give us that passport back.
Cool, man.
So, yeah, bro, that's my starting five.
I like it. It's a good one. I appreciate it. All right, last question we always end with, and I know it's kind of hard, but you got to say one thing, but what's your favorite thing about hoop?
My favorite thing about basketball is I could have between 2 to 3 hours, even 1 hour, to not worry about nothing in life other than basketball. And that's my therapy session. And that's what brings me to like joy. Like, I love the game to death.
Oh, yeah.
So that 2 to 3 hours, whatever's going on that day is blocked out.
Yep.
And I get to work on my game. I get to work on my skill. I get to work with other people, or I'm just playing with other people.
Yep.
And, whatever's outside of that, I'm not bringing it on the court. Whatever happened on the court, I'm not bringing it to the outside. Yeah. And for me, it's just 2 hours or 3 hours to enjoy to love what I do and not worry about nothing in life.
Preach, man.
Yeah.
All right, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
When I pull up with my dogs, we gon' ball like Swish. No, I ball like. No, I ball like.